Welcome to the Immunity Community 2020, where our focus is to provide physical, mental, spiritual info and positive vibes to help you endure and adapt. We'll be bringing you experts to provide strategies to handle stress and boost your immunity. All right, welcome. So I have with us today one of my favorite people on the planet, Steve Jordan. Yes.
Thank you very much.
And
That's a big title and/or space to fill.
Of course,
I'll do my best.
You fill it naturally, brother. So for those of you who don't know Steve Jordan, he's if you've been into the office and pain arthritis.
How do you not know this, Steve?
Well, we're speaking to people who don't necessarily know me personally. They know me through professional life. And Steve's pictures are all over the office and his testimonials on websites and things like that. What's really cool is that Steve and I have 3+ decades of friendship. I believe that we probably met either in football or even before that in baseball. And
I think baseball.
Thank God we both moved to lacrosse sooner than later, because that definitely shaped our lives in a different way. So we not only grew up in grammar school, middle school, high school, played lacrosse together. We went to college together. We're college roommates. We've shared traumas, we've shared joys, we've shared everything in our lives together. So I'm really stoked to bring Steve to you guys, this audience, because he is a world-renowned, I don't want to say personal trainer, I want to say fitness lifestyle expert. But it's, I'm going to, you take over, man. Go ahead.
Tell me. That's always been a really challenging title for me to also say, Brian, and it's something, because a personal trainer often has had a low perceived value in the profession because there hasn't been a profession in fitness until recently, in the past like 5+ years. Many trainers would get their certification online, and now it's become a much more professionalized industry. I mean, a lot of people are getting there. I would say that personal trainers or health fitness professionals is what we like to call ourselves now. Are degreed and have experience and have so many other types of facets of education that, in my opinion, sometimes surpass like our medicine doctors. Medicine doctors know their specific function of treating an ailment or not even treating the symptoms, not necessarily the ailment. We treat the ailments, like yourself as a chiropractor. We go to the root causes, and oftentimes it's, back pain or shoulder pain, neck pain, and things that, other healthcare professionals like yourself, chiropractors, physical therapists can do, but in different modality, right? Through exercise, movement, nutrition, lifestyle choices, to be able to help people live a healthy, pain-free life, and improve their performance if they want to play sports on the weekend or whatnot. So, yeah.
So can you share, because I want my audience to know a little bit about you, but we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of, this is not a podcast form. We're doing like a shorter form. And really our eventual goal is, I'll clue you into those questions, but I want to be able to leave our audience with tips to help their spiritual fitness, their physical fitness, their mental fitness. And you are just a champion of all of those, as I've seen you evolve throughout the years and be able to impart this information to your clients and friends. But let's pause on that for a second. But can you just tell the audience kind of like a quick synopsis of your journey through training and where you are now?
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on and to be a part of this community. I really appreciate it. And I think now more than ever, we need this. And, for those of you listening, just don't listen. What we're sharing and what we're imparting our wisdom on you is something that, you be able to use today. My story is not too much different than anybody else's. Everybody has uniqueness to their own story. Mine in my training profession started, in a way that Brian had alluded to the fact that we had a traumatic accident that nearly took our lives, and won't go into too much detail about that. But that incident caused me,
separate podcast.
Yeah, that incident caused me to look within and find tools and resources to better myself, to heal physically, mentally, and spiritually. And exercise was that tool to be able to do that. I was able to recover in so many miraculous ways, and seeing that peers and friends of mine were inspired, and I saw this potentially as an opportunity. I had always been attracted to California, and I was always into that sort of California healthy vibe lifestyle, surfer, beachy sort of thing going on. And this is 25 years ago. So I started to look out within there and see that personal training was among the elite, right? It was among the celebrities. They were very rich and famous, and that attracted me. So I got into the profession, and to make a long story short, I mean, it was, you know, a fun journey being able to help people with different types of things, whether it was lose weight or get stronger or put muscle on, or just feel overall better about themselves and, you know, wake up confident, you know, in their life and whatever they were doing. And it just progressed through, you know, so many years. I had so many, you know, amazing experiences working with so many cool people. I worked in DC at the White House under the Clinton administration. It's called the WAC, the White House Athletic Center. It's in what we used to be called the old executive office, which is now the Eisenhower office. High security, had to go in, and it was staff of the president. You know, even the vice president has an office in that building, and I mean, it was super cool, and it put me in a space where I felt like I was unique and special to work with a unique, special kind of client. So I set my goals high, and fast forward about 4 years, I moved to California. Here I am now, almost 18 years, living a dream that I, you know, purposely put in place in my mind, and I had written down and had very, very specific goals, working with celebrities and people who, you know, leaders of industries and presidents and CEOs that wanted health and fitness to be a priority in their life. And this is where I'll kind of like, you know, make what this lesson is it was a priority in their life already, or if they wanted it to be a priority, right? I can only tell you or lead you so far. If you're not making it a priority or want to make it a priority in your life, then I can't do anything about you. Whether I'm a celebrity trainer or I have the best program in the world. Like, if you don't want it or you can't prioritize it, then it's not going to work. You're only going to get halfway to where you think you're going to want to go. And, you know, I've worked with people who are there too, and that's not bad. It's just not, you know, ideal. If you're listening to this, it means that you're really, you're playing the game where you want to excel and go further and be better. So, you know, my hope and wish for you is that you're going to take what we're teaching you and imparting our points of wisdom on you so you can use it and begin your journey. And it is a journey, like you said, it doesn't stop. You know, there is no destination, and fitness and health is a journey until the day we die. And I think right now we're more than ever sensitive to it with what's going on with coronavirus. Something we can't see is, you know, really created it has such an impact in the world. It doesn't matter who you are, what socioeconomic background you're from, what size house you live in, if it's an apartment, a house, or wherever it is, you are affected by it. Yeah. So.
Well, and that's, thank you for sharing that, your history. And just to let the audience know also, we're two Jersey guys, and this guy moved out to California, first New York City, and then migrated out to California and hasn't been back since.
No.
So, you know, that's an interesting point you bring up, because I look at it as like, you know, what you do for a living, what the intention of this site is to provide positive vibes for people, because there's a lot of legitimate fear, you know, because there's fear of an actual virus that can cause you, you know, from sickness to death and family members. And there's also a lot of perceived fear, like anxiety, stuff from the inside, loneliness, right? Being quarantined. So I know you're a positive light. You've been a positive light in my life for sure, for however many years. But what is it inside, you know, because you've spent your career now and you said, okay, these people want to get better at fitness, but they already have that. How do you take what you have inside and inspire someone to do that? And that's like the essence of, like, it's not, I mean, you're a gifted athlete, obviously, but it's not like you can just do exercise and be like, oh, I'm going to do that too. You know, it's, how do you inspire people? How do you get them to move better, eat better, think better? What are some of the tips?
Well, you know, and that's the $1 billion question, right? There is no one size fits all. And that's what makes what I do more challenging. I can't package it in a way that affects everybody. That's where I really bring in the personal touch with meeting somebody. So if I were to meet you or any of the individuals listening, my first question would obviously be congratulations for taking the first step. That's the hardest step, right?
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this, congratulations for taking the first step and spending your time here listening, because that shows yourself and us that you're prioritizing, and going back to that word prioritize, your health and your wellness and well-being in this space that we're in or in your life. So congrats. And two would be, why are you here? Why do you want to learn more about health, wellness, and fitness? Why do you want to work with me? And well, I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay, fantastic. And I know this is cliche, and I'm sure you've touched on this or maybe other guest speakers, and there's so many people around this, in our health space that are talking about the why now. Why do you want something? Why do you want to do it, or why don't you want to do it? And that's where I really dive in to help people understand their why and help bring it out and make it more purposeful and meaningful so that I can coach them back to that, right? So if we were playing football, the or lacrosse, the why at the beginning of the game is to win that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Score more goals than the opponent. Well,
wait, I was
the
defender. I
why
had to
for me,
stop people from scoring goals.
right? Exactly. And you want to be able to find out what that why is. So that why is very clear and distinct and known. And that's also why spectators enjoy watching it, because the goal, the outcome is very specific and measurable. But for people, when you say I want to be healthier, well, that's very broad and general, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Does it mean that you went to your doctor and got your annual physical and your blood markers were a little, out of balance? They weren't normal. Maybe your cholesterol was high. Maybe your blood pressure was a little high. Maybe your liver enzymes were high. Whatever it looks like, it was out of balance. So we need to bring those numbers back in balance. Great. Now that's measurable, it's specific, and we can work on that in some lifestyle, diet, and including exercise modalities. So now when you're saying, I don't want to do that, or I can't wake up that early, well, I can always go back to your why and your purpose to be able to motivate you and inspire you to come back in and give me your best, because you have high blood pressure, you're going to have to go on some kind of medication. If you have high cholesterol, you're gonna have to go on some kind of medication. Those medications have side effects that you don't want. And so it gives me an opportunity to find coaching techniques and ways of finding and filling the gaps to keep you inspired and motivated to keep coming back and needing and wanting more. So my suggestion is for the listeners to really think about that. What is my why? Like, why are you here listening today? You're not doing it just to fill time. Maybe it is because you are sitting at home, you're self-quarantined and you're at a safe at home. But why did you spend your time doing this rather than reading a book? Well, it's because you're interested in it. Write down that why, and then just go a little deeper. Peel away those layers of the onion. We get to the core, no pun intended. And then you're going to really understand more about who you are and what makes you, what brings your purpose to life. And the brighter you can make that purpose, the stronger your will and want to do what it is that you need to do that. Like, for instance, again, you and I, Brian, had our head injury, and my will and purpose and want was to be normal again, was to fully recover. And I was willing to do whatever it took. I burned the bridges, I sunk the boats, and I created a big why. And that purposeful why really was about, like, I wanted my friends to like me again. I wanted girls to find me attractive again. I wanted to feel like I was normal again. I didn't want to stutter. I didn't want to be stuck on my words. I wanted my brain to think and, be able to have a normal life. And so that brings, a lot of purpose and discipline to your life. And so you'll always find that purpose and discipline when you know your why, and your why will change. You need to kind of always consider going back to it, not every day, but, maybe weekly or monthly, and figure it out, kind of rebring it to the surface and just know really strongly what it is.
Awesome. That's beautiful. So in essence, you're more of a coach, life coach. I've seen you as that, for
Yeah.
for your whole career, which is really cool. So
Yeah, and
I've
that's why it
seen,
was hard always to be saying I'm a personal trainer, because personal training, if you think of that word though, it's profound and it's very broad and general. You're personal training somebody, you're personally training somebody to be better,
yeah,
right? And it was always associated with exercise, but we know that the mind, body, and soul or spirit are interconnected. You can't have
mhm,
one without the other.
yeah,
One can be more, fulfilled, but that creates imbalance, and that's what we're always trying to achieve, is that balance, that yin and yang, or the wheel, and however it looks, we want to have a nice integration between the three of those, and when you do, your life truly is in harmony.
awesome. And that's what we want is harmony and not too much anxiety, fear, right? And that balance. This is why we're here today. So uh, I'm going to pivot because I want to ask you, relevant to this situation, like up until a couple of weeks ago, life was cooking. You were training, you were doing this, you're building a couple of different businesses and always looking at different opportunities, writing websites, you name it, podcasts. You're all over the place. I love it. But all within your industry, obviously.
Sure.
Um, what do you have to do? I want to dig in deep. If you cry, it's okay.
Mm.
What what did you have to, who do you have to be, or who did you have to become? Because your attitude is contagiously positive, and I'm texting you all the time and you're just feeding me great shit. Oop, sorry. Ashley told me not to curse, but I did. You're it's just, we've been in very, continuous contact, and text has been great, but who did you have to become in order to adapt to this stressful time right now? And that's really what I want our audience to get out of this, is like, what or who deep inside did you have to become, or more of what you were, or what had to shift for yourself inside?
Mm. That's it's an awesome question, and I'm gonna say I just had to be myself. That was the first thing that was coming
That's cool.
to my conscious mind there. And that self is, you say I'm positive. It's not always positive.
Right.
And that, being my friend, I haven't always been positive. Positive is it's like a muscle. The more you work it, the better it is. The more that I work with people and coaching them, the more positive I am. One, because I love doing what I'm doing and helping people. So that makes me happy, to be able to do what I love. And the other part is, like, if I'm practicing and giving it, I'm going to also, kind of, it comes back to me as well, through the law of karma, or reciprocation, however that looks, whether it's through money or through, just relationships that I've built. And, but like right now, it's being more flexible. Patience is one that's come to my mind.
Mhm.
So, there's nothing I can do about this. Usually I'm a pusher. I like to push things. I'm from Jersey. So, yeah, we're from Jersey, and we often, if somebody honks at me, I'm going to honk harder. If somebody pushes me, I'm going to push harder.
Even
But
in
right now, like, we can't.
LA hasn't chilled you out at all.
It
Right.
has, but those were innate characteristics that I think, when you're young, in those formidable years, they start to develop, and they're part of your foundation. But that's always made me who I am, in a way that I'm tenacious, and I haven't always been the smartest. I haven't always been the strongest. I haven't always been the fastest. I haven't always been the most athletic. I've been good enough in all those areas, but I've had to push myself to, really compete with people who are better in those areas, or stronger, whatever it looked like. So, flexible and patience, just like taking it day by day. Like, if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it. Like, I'm just like, I'm going to take a nap, or I'm going to just relax. I'm going to watch a movie in the middle of the day. I don't ever watch movies in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to feel guilty doing it.
Yeah.
It's funny. I said this to somebody yesterday. I was walking my dog. I was in UCLA campus area. I live right near UCLA, and it's wonderful. I can take my dog off a leash, and especially now, it's dead there. There's nobody there.
Yeah.
And I'm walking through the campus, and there was the maintenance people that work on the campus and they were sitting around kind of doing nothing. And I walked by and I said, "Hey guys, how's it going?" They said, good. They said, what's up? And I said, not much. And I said, I can say that without actually feeling guilty,
Yeah.
in the middle of the day. And I said that back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said that back to them, and he laughed. And I thought about what I said, and it came out just so naturally, because at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, normally I'm working or trying to work on
Running in
business or
between
do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, running between appointments, whatever it looks like. And I'm here now just walking my dog, having a good old time. And I'm okay with it. Like, because there's nothing else I can do, or there's nowhere else I'd rather be than right there walking with my dog in UCLA campus, getting fresh air and moving my body. So I felt no guilt or shame doing that. And so the point of that story is that I'm just being where I'm at right now and being flexible. Like, if I've got a podcast, or if I've got like an interview like this, or if I got to do some emails every day, I'm sending out daily fitness tips to my clients with a quote of the day, with a good news of the day. So there's a website called Good News. What is it called? goodnewsnetwork.org. And there's like really cool like things on there, goodnewsnetwork.org. And I put a link on something, good news of the day, and then I do a fitness tip, whether it's a little link to a video or a fitness tip. And I've asked my trainers who are now working with me to also add some value. So I'm kind of creating an opportunity for people to get something and have me like interact with them via text or via internet, whether it's, not by person. So that's what I'm doing. And however it looks for you, be okay with where we're at. Don't stress, because stress causes, cool heads will prevail. They're like our football coach, our lacrosse coaches, and, all our coaches in sports. That's, I guess, where I first learned that. But cool heads will prevail. Like, you got to keep a cool head when the going get tough, the tough get going. But the tough actually use their mind more. They work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
They take opportunity and look at it as a way to create a new way of being or doing, so that when the time that you can get back to your life, because it's not going to be normal. Don't think that life is going to be normal again.
New normal that's going to occur.
Never a new normal. It's going to be completely different than what we were used to 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you need to be prepared, ready for that. And just practicing flexibility and patience right now in the space that you're in is going to help accelerate you in that space when you get to be able to go back to work or back to your daily dues and responsibilities of managing that, and start to be flexible and patient in those, in that space then, to be able to prevail. So
that's awesome. So, I mean, patience and flexibility is really who you had to be.
Yeah. Patience and flexibility. Yes.
I didn't mean to shortchange what you just said, because it was all very meaningful.
No, it was all just a story anyway. It's patience and flexible. Yeah.
Well, and so if we can pivot one more direction, is like, so I know you're still recovering from a skiing injury before the virus.
Oh, dude, it's bad. I'm like concerned that I might have actually. Yeah, I did. Well, I told you yesterday, I hung the ski erg up in my studio that I'm remodeling, and I played with it. I did it. I was tossing and turning all night long last night, and it's killing the day.
Challenging. Well, if you were in Maryland, you could come into our office, but you're a little too far at this point. So yeah. So if you can give to the audience, whether it's a physical, spiritual, I'd love to just, borrow from your wisdom and expertise and knowledge, because I want to give our listeners a challenge, really, based off beingness, and then also any little tidbits you can give us to, I guess, face what's happening and improve our health and our immunity. If there's any, because you are an expert at that stuff. So if you can deliver a couple of tidbits and challenge to our listeners, that'd be great.
Sure. Well, I will say I will give you rather than borrow, because I don't want it back. I want you to take this and own this. And two, I wouldn't just call it a tidbit. I want to give it like more love and like a bolder sense of this is purposeful and meaningful and will work if you do the work. I guarantee that. Like, that's what I say to clients when I first meet them. I tell them, I guarantee you results. And if you do what I say and you follow through with what I'm telling you to do, I guarantee there's very few people and professions in life, and you're fortunately to have one of those as well, where we can guarantee you success. And I always use the stock market or financial advisor as an opportunity to really put this in the light. And I said, many times, because I'm also working with clients that are very financially savvy, wealthy clients, and they understand finances. I say, if I were your banker or I were your financial advisor or stockbroker, and I said, I can guarantee you a 25% return on an investment within 3 to 6 months of doing exactly what I'm telling you to do, would you take that? And they would say, all day long.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
And I'm telling you, I guarantee you at least 50% or better results in 3 months or 6 months. All right. Yeah. So take this, and I'm going to give it to you. What I would say, first and foremost, drink water first thing when you wake up in the morning. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So drink water first thing in the morning, 16 ounces. If you're not used to waking up and drinking water, just drink 8 ounces of water. Okay. But 16 to 24 ounces first thing in the morning. Give your stomach and your digestive system a little time to absorb that. Then have some multivitamins, vitamin C, omega-3, 6, 9 fatty acids, have some vitamin D, vitamin B, and you can get all these in multi-supplements. And Brian, you're better at this, and you probably even have your own somewhere in your store, in your shop. But vitamins are important right now because you're not necessarily getting all the vitamins and nutrients from the food you're eating, because I know that people are buying a lot more canned and like kind of dry goods off the shelves rather than organic vegetables and things. But then go and have like your 2 to 3 meals a day. Make them smaller. Don't make them large because you're eating at home right now. Make and always have vegetables in every single one of them. I don't really care what it looks like right now. I mean, you know, organic, wholesome, just nutritious, like meeting the kind of the basic food groups of vegetables, fruits, meats, and some carbs. And then, you know, obviously some fats. Then drink more water and drink more water. And then get yourself out moving. Right now, like, you can get outside, you can breathe in the fresh air. If you got to wear your mask, you wear your mask if that's important to you and you want to feel safe. But they're actually saying now that you can't really get the disease by just breathing in the air of somebody who might have it. That's actually, they're learning as we're going, but that's something that just came up in the news the past couple of days. So, you know, but wear it if you feel more confident and comfortable. Just keep your distance and, you know, the spaces that you're walking, but get out and go move. Just walk. Like right now I'm walking and I'm doing little things in the house, getting up and standing, doing some like shoulder rolls and neck rolls, feeling good, flexible, right? If you want to be flexible in your life, you have to maintain flexibility in your body. Okay. Because it's just not a mind thing. And you know, work the balance of, you know, whatever it is you're doing at home. Many of you people are working at home right now. Do a little work-life balance. So I know that's very cliche as well, but, you know, these phones are really smart. They're smart only if you're smart in using them. They don't just intrinsically come smart. They do, they have the capabilities, but you can set reminders on here. So every hour it's a reminder to stand up and move, just like the Apple Watch also has a reminder to breathe or get up and stand every hour. You can set a reminder on your phone, whichever phone carrier you use or brand you use, and just get up and walk around your space. You know, do some like balancing on one foot, or just sidestepping, or marching in place, or exactly what you're doing. I love like something called, you know, just kind of bounding, where I'm just standing up and down, where I'm just barely leaving the ground, and I'm doing that for 30 seconds. It gets you some lymphatic drainage. It helps to build your circulation, create a little bit more bone density during a time when you're more sedentary and you're not putting loads on your body, and feel good doing it. You know, it doesn't have to look like you were training for a sport, right? I think today we're in this mindset that exercise has to be really hard and, you know, high intensity training. It has to look like, you know, CrossFit or the athletes that are performing, you know, at the highest level of performance. No, that's not necessarily the case. Walking or bounding or marching in place or rolling your shoulders or arm circles or planks, things that have low to a moderate level of intensity can also be very beneficial. So do that. Get to bed on time. And what do I mean by that? 10 o'clock, to 10:30, start to get yourself in the bed, unwind, keep your lights on dim at night so that you can start to feel like your body and your mind is easing into a more of a sedentary kind of sleep state. And then get that good night's sleep and wake up and repeat. Do it again. The most important the most important part of all this that I'm saying, and everybody's going to have their own different routine, is repeat. Do it over and over again. If there's one thing that I've learned in 25 years of experience of doing this, that I know to be 100% truth, 100%, not 50%, 100% truthful, is repeat. Do it over and over again. Steve, what exercise is best for this? Steve, what diet is best for this? Steve, what is the best nutrient that's good for this? The one that you do over and over and over again. They're all good. It's just the one that you do over and over again that you find fulfilled, that you will continuously do with improvements and maybe making it a little more challenging, will keep you in a healthy and fit state. So repeat, and repeat until it becomes a habit and you don't need to force yourself to do it, and it becomes just part of your routine. And that's why they say it's not exercise, it's not diet, it's a lifestyle. These are lifestyle habits that you need to incorporate into your life until they just become part of you and the way that you are. And I had to do this. This wasn't something I was born with. This isn't like what I do and how I do it isn't something that I was born with. I was just having a conversation the other night with somebody saying, the more I'm home, the harder I'm finding myself to stay in the habits that I built. One is, when this was what I was using an example, was waking up early. Like 6 a.m. is usually when I rise because I have clients starting at 6:30. I'm sleeping in till 7 now, going to bed around like 10:30.
Better than my kids sleeping
10.
till 11 or 12, which is insane. That was you when we were younger.
But we used to do that, and that's okay. When you're a kid, you're growing still, but it's so yes, we all have to kind of teeter back and we kind of zig and zag, but make sure that you build those lifestyle habits.
Awesome, man. So for those of you listening, if you can perhaps share some of your lifestyle habits that you found successful for you over time. Steve Jordan, yes, one of my closest friends, favorite people on earth, and comrade in business and in life. Brother, love you, man. Thank you so much for,
love you too, Brian.
For sharing your heart and your wisdom with this community. And we'll get you on again. We'll talk deeper about our accident. Maybe get into the
I'd love that
psychological side.
I would love that, and I love this sharing. And we call it wisdom. It's really just ways of the way that we've been able to navigate through our life and our world to be successful and help others be successful. I'm sure you have your own tools. The people who are listening, and you've listened to other coaches or whoever. What I'm saying is not the only way. Right. Again, whatever way that you find is a way that works for you, do it that way. And again, repeat it over and over again. Consistency. Just keep doing it, and you'll get to where you're feeling like it's a part of your lifestyle. And then one last final thought is, health and fitness isn't a destination. It is a journey. You have to continuously do it. You will never find yourself, always, you may be in a state of health and fitness that just maybe for a moment of time, for whether it's days, weeks, or months. You just have to continuously zig and zag, and zig more than you zag. So, with that, I love you guys. Stay healthy, stay fit. Follow me on Instagram at Steve Jordan Lifestyle. I've got some great info on there. I've got a podcast called I Am Healthy and Fit. You can find that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. There's some great people on there, and some amazing, educators and people who are really accelerating health and fitness at another level that I learn from often. So listen to that and rate it if you like it. Rate it if you don't like it. It helps me to know what, my audience is liking and not liking, so that I can make it better, or just keep doing what I'm doing. And otherwise, you could also email me at steve@stevejordan.com. And that's just a way for you to connect. I will connect to you within 24 hours if you have specific questions. And then this, community here that Brian has so eloquently put together. I mean, it's an opportunity for everybody to really to get together and create a community, because we can't do this alone. And life shouldn't be done alone. It's done with people and friends and other peers that have similar and like-mindedness, so that we can be better and learn from each other. So Brian, I appreciate you and acknowledge you for this work that you've done, and for putting this together and seeing an opportunity in the face of a global breakdown. We'll all get through this on the other side. If there's one thing that I can agree with what the president right now is saying, is that we will be better from this.
Yeah, for sure.
However that looks, we will be. It may not be immediately when it's over. It will take some time, but we will learn from it and we will grow from it.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you.